afternoon, everyone. Are we out there? Hello, hey, everybody. Hey. Hey, welcome to Yorktown on an absolutely beautiful afternoon and a day that's been years in the making, and we're finally here. I just want to acknowledge that all the dignitaries that we do have here. We have our State Senator Terrence Murphy, who was just a councilman when this thing started, right? And County Executive Bob Astorino. These projects and these types of projects don't get done. A lot of them get on the planning boards. A lot of them get on the table for planning, but a few of them get to the point where you're putting a shovel in the ground, and they get to the point of putting a shovel in the ground when you have the right economic atmosphere and when you have the right leadership. And with Bob Astorino and years and years of no tax increases, this is what makes economic activity possible. So we thank you for your great work at the county level, Bob, and we're going to have you up here in a second anyhow. But thanks for coming. So this is what it's all Yorktown and Westchester County is all about. We also have our State Assemblyman Kevin Byrne here. Kevin, all right, thank you so much for showing up. And Westchester County Legislators, Chairman of the Board Michael Kaplowitz, and John Tester with John. Oh, there you are. All right. We have Eric DiBartolo, our President of the Chamber of Commerce. You know, we have our town board up here: Tom Diana, Greg Bernard, Ed Lackerman, and Vishnu Patel. And on behalf of the town of Yorktown, our Chief Bob Noble, Diana Quast, our town clerk, John Landy, our building inspector, Michael Quinn, our town engineer, who are going to be busy in the next couple of months. I also like to acknowledge Mary Capocia, my right hand, my left hand, and the girl that everybody gets it done with. And we also have Dave Paganelli, Highway Superintendent. And it's great to see everybody. We have, I actually want to do a shout out real quick to Lynn Briggs. Lynn is part of our Historical Society. And just to kind of give you the flavor of the type of organization that we're going to have in our town, which is a Breslin Development Group, and what a great bunch of guys they are. And it's been an absolute pleasure working with them. But just to kind of give you the flavor of how they've been working with the town. Oh, yeah. And we have on this site is an old barn that dates back 250 years, and the Historical Society always is interested in preserving Yorktown history, and it's one of the few barns that dates back to that era, a hand-hewn barn, and they wanted to keep it. So it meant coordinating with our Historical Society, the town, third-party contractors, and most importantly, the owner of the property, which was the Breslin Group, to figure out a way to preserve that barn, to relocate it in town, to make it a part of what's going to be an historical pathway in Yorktown Heights. But these guys, I'm going to tell you, most of the time, if you approach the developer with this kind of a problem, they tell you, go away, and they couldn't be bothered. These guys, the type of corporate partners and corporate neighbors they're going to make is exemplary in what they're doing in order to preserve that barn. And I thank you guys and Lynn for your work, and for the Breslin Group for just being the type of people that they are. Really, my hats off to them. But I'm now going to invite the guy that's been living with this almost as long as the Breslin Group, and it's now our now senator, or who was a councilman at the time. Come on up, Terrence Murphy.
Supervisor Grace, well, this is a long time. This is a great day for the town of Yorktown, and this is a great day for New York State. And most importantly, it's a great day, long time coming, for Mr. Wilbur Breslin of sticking with us. 7 years. Yeah, 9 years, correctly, I'm sorry. And millions of dollars. This is exactly what is happening in New York State. You have the fortitude of sticking with us and going through a lot of the nonsense, but we are here today 9 years later to actually put a shovel in the ground. A shovel's going in the ground today. And when people thought that this would never happen, to think that that hotel they wanted to keep something like that there is just outrageous. We can't thank you enough for bringing your business acumen to here to Yorktown, and most importantly, your friendship that has always had. So God bless you. God bless New York State, the town of Yorktown, and everybody that was involved in it, because there was an awful lot of strings that made this happen, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
All right, next up, we'd like to hear from our county executive, Rob Astorino.
They can't wait to get here to Lowe's. Look, the parking lot's already full. This is great. Mr. Breslin, thank you very much for coming here personally. We are all excited about having Lowe's come to Westchester County. This is a wonderful spot for it, and Yorktown is moving forward, and they understand, Supervisor Grace, the town board members. It started as well with the vision of Terrence Murphy when he was on the board and the rest of the members, that this is important. Economic development is important. It's not just the 200 permanent jobs that are going to be here and the 400 construction jobs, but it's the sales tax and another reason to shop in Westchester County. And you know, the Astorino household is here all the time at BJ's. We get off the Taconic, go to BJ's, and about $400 later we go back home. So now you've got us again making a left turn into Lowe's in the future. So we're proud of our partnership. We thank Yorktown for what you do. And as Lowe's says, keep moving forward, right? Moving forward, and Yorktown is doing that. So congratulations to everybody, and can't wait to be back for the ribbon cutting, which should be how long? Not 9 years. Next year, hopefully. Okay, so we're moving. Good. Can't wait. Thank you.
I also want to acknowledge the two other members of the Yorktown, the great Yorktown family, is Judge Salagonia and Judge Gary Raniolo. Italian judges, lasagna and ravioli. We got a great Yorktown family here, and the next one that I want to have get up here is this guy. Most people know him as a former highway superintendent. And we got a great one. The big shoes to have filled, although maybe smaller shoe size in actuality. But he's a great guy, and I got to tell you what's great about Yorktown, and what's great about this town so much is that not only people that have served in the public sector, they after having served for 25 years, he's back serving this community as head of the Chamber of Commerce. And I'm going to tell you, as town supervisor, and with our agenda of trying to move things forward and get things done and cut through the red tape and actually get shovels in the ground, there's no better partner than I can imagine than Eric DiBartolo, President of the Chamber of Commerce.
Good afternoon, thank you, and thank you, Supervisor Grace. And it's just not possible to make it happen without a town board that's always willing for business. But I'm going to tell you just really quickly, because I spoke to Mr. Breslin earlier. 9 years ago, we were in Town Hall for our first meeting, speaking about it, and I looked at Mr. Breslin and I said, this is absolutely terrific. I said, but Yorktown's very difficult to get anything done. And the gentleman looked at me and said, I built in Long Island. He said, I'm okay. And thank goodness and thank God that you stuck with it, because we as a Chamber of Commerce are so excited to have something like this come to Yorktown. My parents been here since the 50s. We've never had a project like this come forward. The mall did. But it's just been constant work from the senator's office, from the town, from the county. And you know, when everybody comes together, it works. And for businesses in Yorktown, every business, we're ecstatic to have something like this come in for more jobs, for people to be able to see Yorktown as what it is and not to hear all these crazy things, and to fill this slot that's just horrible. So on behalf of the Yorktown Chamber of Commerce, we'd like to thank everybody for coming. Our chamber is 1,000% behind Yorktown businesses, Yorktown Town Board. And at this time, I would like to introduce, and I'm very honored to do that, Mr. Breslin.
thank everybody for coming here today. It is a great day, and the weather is really showing us it is a better day. I've got some notes here that I've got here. I'm really not going to follow it because most of it has been talked about already as we sat here. But I have to reminisce and go back to when I started this deal with, I think it was Don Perry, who was the supervisor in those days. In there.
I'll be your microphone.
Okay. And when I came to Yorktown for the first time, I met with Don Perry, and I told him that I was a lover, not a fighter, and I didn't want to get into anything in the town that wasn't welcome. So I told him what I had planned to do, which was very general, and I told him of some of the tenants that I work with and have experience with. And he listened. He said, I like all of them. And I was really surprised to hear that. And off I was running, and I said, gee, I've got an area that's really welcoming me, and that's not usual, especially in some of the places I go, because my main experience is on Long Island. But I've developed in Mississippi, Nebraska, Louisiana, and Jersey and Pennsylvania, all over the place. And in most places, developers are not welcome. So I was really felt great and warm with Yorktown until I got about 9 months into the deal. And then I had a little ride with one of the owners, because the assemblage was 3 owners, and one of the owners took me for a little ride, and he turned around to me and he said, you know, I'm here to help you and do whatever you want except for one thing. I said, what's that? He said, no gasoline. And I said, what do you mean? And of course he saw the plans, he saw Costco, and he saw gasoline. So to make a long story short, we got into that nonsense, and that took God knows how many years to finally settle, and we did. At that time, Costco and I had different ideas, different motivations, and it terminated. And it was like a needle in a haystack when I found Lowe's. Because Lowe's was able to meet all of the requirements that we had, which was strict. But one of the things that I want to get out today is this. The man standing on my left here, when I met him, that was like a breath of fresh air, because he has made my life really easy. And when I say easy, he was tough and he was rough, and he told me when I was all wet, but he listened. And when he thought I was right for the town of Yorktown, he helped and he did wonders. Terrence Murphy, I met him when he was still on the board. When he went off the board, he called me. And he said, you know, I'm going to the state. He said, but I'm going to stay with this project. And if you need any help, just call upon me. Well, I didn't even have to call upon him. He called me. And I needed plenty of help. And I begin to tell you because the experience I had with New York State was probably one of the worst experiences I had in all the years, which is 60 some odd years that I'm doing this stuff in here. And I never had experiences like I had with DOT and DEP. It was just murder, notwithstanding the fact that I happened to know personally and be a friend of the governor and knew his father well, who, by the way, his father worked for me for $20 a closing many, many years ago. Very true. And I got help when I needed it in there. My engineers who are here today, they'll tell you they tried to get a meeting with the DOT on a certain matter for 6 months, couldn't do it. I called the governor's office. 3 weeks later, we had a meeting, but all went well. So we had a lot of friends to make this deal happen. But why should we have to go to that extent? There were stories that we could tell about this deal, especially with the DEP and the DOT, that is not necessary because it costs millions of dollars more for no reason. Because I don't mind spending money when we're bettering the project and making the project better quality. But to do it for no reason at all and get nothing for your money, that I find very distasteful. But something should be done and has to be done to make that process a lot easier, because 9 years, and 9 years wasn't because of the town of Yorktown. It was the result of that was the state and the delays that took place. So I want to thank Michael Grace here, Terrence Murphy, who were really the spearheads. Without them, we would not have a groundbreaking today. That I can tell you. And you've got a man like Michael Grace here as a town servant that you should applaud and really want, because he's good. He's good for everybody. I also want to thank John Tediger. Is he here today? Yeah. Oh yeah, there I see him back there. Yeah, he has he listened to us. He didn't like some of the things we said, okay? But as he listened, that's what I want. We want people to listen, because we're only looking to do the right thing. We're not looking to do the wrong thing. We're looking to do the right thing, and we need plenty of help to do that. And John Tediger here, he did that. He did that, and he didn't smile too much at me at the beginning, but he was great. And his whole staff, I thank for the way they handled the deal and addressed all the concerns that we had. I also want to mention Joe Visconti. Is Joe here today? Yeah, I know he's ill. Well, thank him for me, because he was a great spearhead for this project and really helped tremendously. And Eric DeBartolo I met today for the first time, but I knew of his efforts, and he certainly brought it home, and we thank him for his services and for what he did. Anyone else I should be thanking? Oh yeah, this is my right hand man right here, Beth Alderman, in there. But I really do, and Bob Rosenberg, where is he, Bob? Bob, you saw him more than me. You saw me at the beginning, because I didn't have this to contend with. But then Bob took over. But we really thank everybody in the town of Yorktown for being as receptive as they were. And we hope that this project will breed many other projects of quality. I think it will. And I thank you all for coming here today. And if you have any questions for me, I'll be glad to answer them if I can. Thank you.
I'm going to tell you, if you learn from your grandfather the way he does business, you'll always be successful. I'm going to tell you, you know, my interaction with Wilbur has just been nothing but pleasant. When we sit down together, I think we spend 30 seconds on the project, and the other hour and a half talking about all sorts of things. Absolutely charming, interesting gentleman. Thank you for coming to Yorktown. Thank you for having faith in us. It means a lot. And I also want to say that, you know, I know Senator Murphy takes being on the ground level here with this experience, understands what the red tape is up in Albany and how it has to be taken care of and put aside. We're trying to do the same thing here. This is not just a groundbreaking for Lowe's, but it's a groundbreaking for the future of Yorktown and hopefully for the future of Westchester County. The way we've been doing business in Yorktown is hopefully exemplary for the rest of the state, to show that we know how to get things done, we know how to cut to the chase, and we understand that there's a lot more value in putting your investment dollars, like Mr. Breslin said, in mortars, brick and mortars, and actual improvements, rather than wads of paper and attorney briefs. And I hope my brethren allow me to at least give them that little shot. But I was remiss in the beginning. I think political leadership is absolutely critical. It's the attitude at which you approach things that makes all the difference. I think Bob Astorino is a testament to that. But also very important to us is the staff that you have behind you. And I'm so grateful, Mr. Breslin, that you properly acknowledged what is probably one of the best planners in Westchester County, and probably a little underpaid. But John Tegeter, I gotta, you know what? Give this guy, I mean, really, let him hear it, because he hears a lot. He's been, I've known John long before as supervisor, and I've known him as supervisor, and he's got great things coming, and he's a great guy to work with, and he's what you need, and he's what this town needs. John, we thank you for all your service, absolutely. But and then who do I say? I also want to acknowledge our town attorney, Mike McDermott, who's also the judge at Thomas, for being here as well today. All right, I think at this point we're going to put hard hats on and shovels. So you're going to see a couple of guys in suits go to work. Oh, who's got the drum roll? Let's hear it, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody, you're all invited to stick around. If you want to have some more war stories from Breslin, Wilbur will be glad to tell them to you.
I'm here in Yorktown with the fine Chamber of Commerce President, Eric DiBartolo. How you doing, Eric?
Good. How are you today?
Very well. I thank Supervisor Grace for letting me televise this event for the town of Yorktown.
It's a great day for Yorktown.
And it's a great day for Yorktown. Tell us the history of this. 9 years, I think it took.
9 years and millions of dollars. As you heard today from Mr. Breslin, that wasn't necessary.
Right.
Red tape, cutting through red tape, having problems, which is just absolutely not necessary. And hopefully it's going to open up the eyes. But for a resident of Yorktown that I am, and President of the Chamber of Commerce, this is one of the greatest days for Yorktown. We're finally moving a piece of vacant land forward for some great things to come for everybody in the community.
And it finally happened with the Republican majority and Michael Grace,
Well, I
the
have to
town
tell you,
supervisor, and the entire council.
The entire council, the Republicans on the board are terrific, and they know what it is for business, and that's what we're all about. The Chamber's all about
economic
business.
development.
Tremendously. Thank you.
He did a great job as fireman in Yorktown.
Long time ago.
Thanks, Eric. I'm with the state senator from Yorktown area and Mr. Breslin, the developer who is going to develop this store after 9 years. You want to comment on that?
Oh, absolutely. I can't thank Mr. Breslin enough and Breslin Realty for having the patience and the fortitude to stick with us. This is a great day for the town of Yorktown. It's a great day for New York State, and it's most importantly a great day for this gentleman right here who went through things he shouldn't have had to do in order to bring business to New York.
And I heard
we are creating over 200 permanent jobs here. What he's doing here, the construction jobs, there's millions of dollars of economic development going on. Thanks to Mr. Wilbur
I
Breslin.
want to say a few words, Mr. Breslin.
I thank the senator here who did a great job in helping us get to this day. Without him, I think it would have been another 5 years. In any event, we're happy to be here, and we look forward to other opportunities and experiences that we can have in the town of Yorktown, and we thank the Yorktown people for helping us as well.
And we thank you very much for coming to Yorktown and making Yorktown move forward, and this fine state senator who helped make it happen along with Michael Grace.
George, great stuff.
Okay, thank you. I'm with the county executive, Rob Astorino. Rob, I've seen you all over the place, Yonkers, Yorktown. But what do you think of the great?
Are you following me, George?
I think I am. I'm a follower of good people.
Thank you.
What do you think about shovels in the ground finally here in Yorktown and the fine leadership of Michael Grace and State Senator Murphy?
You know, all the credit goes to Supervisor Grace and the town board for moving this forward, and of course Terrence Murphy, the state senator, who was on the board at the time, who helped see this through as well from the state's perspective, and we're just very proud. You know, this is the kind of economic development and growth that we need in the county. It's going to be 200 jobs here, 400 construction jobs, sales tax, and you know what? A lot of that sales tax is going to come from non-Westchester people coming down to Yorktown to shop, and that's great. So, you know what? Yorktown's been on the move, Westchester's on the move, and this is a testament to working with the right people to bring dollars into our communities.
And we thank you for coming up to Yorktown with
Thank
your
you.
busy schedule.
Thank you, George.
And Michael, I thank you personally televising this event for you. And how do you feel?
It's great. No, it's great. It's great, and I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned. Hopefully, everybody understands it. Does a postmortem on this, as Wilbur Breslin said. There's a lot of money wasted in trying to get approvals. Millions and millions of dollars in soft costs.
Environmental challenges.
Well, yeah, but if that money could be put into actual bricks and mortar and actually public infrastructure, would be better served.
And one of your major issues has always been economic development and moving Yorktown forward.
Right.
Yorktown is on the move.
Yes, and I actually appreciate Mr. Breslin's kind words about Yorktown.
Yes.
So well, hopefully it's a harbinger of good things to come.
Okay, well, again, we thank you for being on a George Ondek production. The shovels in the ground at Yorktown for Lowe's store. Thank you, Mr.
Enjoy your day.
I'm now here with a citizen of Yorktown. I think you are. Here comes the judge, right?
I'm not Aaron Judge. I don't hit home runs, but
I think you hit a lot of home runs
with
with your fairness on the courts in Yorktown.
Thank you very
This
much.
is Judge Lagonia.
Judge Sal Lagonia.
And I hear you're a pretty good horn player, too.
I've played the trumpet in a band called Class Action, one of my favorite things to do when I'm not on the bench.
One quick comment. What do you think of shovels finally in the ground in Yorktown for a major store?
You know, besides judge and trumpet player, I am a citizen of Yorktown, and this is so cool. It is so wonderful to finally be here after all these years. I mean, we heard this project 9 years ago.
And you know what? You're going to get sales tax from people outside of town, too, because I'm going to come here from Peekskill.
And I'll tell you what else, you know, we had a lot of crime come out of here after the place was shut down. And, people would do drugs in there. There was stealing of pipes and such. All of that will now be cleaned up. We'll have a nice tax-generating unit on there. It'll be great. I'm looking forward to it.
It's nice talking to you
Always
today.
my pleasure, George.
And it's always great being before the judge here, not no place else.
No.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you, George. Thank you.